So thank you very much for joining the roundtable discussion for today. My name is Sharifah Rafidah and I'm from Universiti Teknologi Malaysia. Okay. So can all of you see my slide?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so thank you very much again to everyone for joining us today. Okay. So my name is Sharifah, and together with me here we have our team from Universiti Teknologi Malaysia, who are also part of the Malaysia Sustainable University Campus Network. Yeah. So what is MYSUN? Maybe it's your first time hearing about MYSUN. Yeah, when you receive the email. So MYSUN is basically the Malaysia Sustainable University Campus Network, which is a consortium of all these universities consisting inside Malaysia as well as outside Malaysia. So later, Dr. Diana Mazlan will be giving a briefing about what is MYSUN, just to give an overview about what MYSUN is all about and why we are having this roundtable discussion today. Yeah. So besides that, I would just like to introduce my team also today. We have the rapporteur as well as the timekeeper for the roundtable today, which is Mr. Zainal Effendi, and also Ms. Nurul Elfika. And we have our technical team. So if you have any problem, our technical team will try to address it. Encik Muhammad Hairul Nizam as well as Mr. Zainal Effendi. Yeah? And the secretariat who has been contacting all of you, Ms. Nurul Huda binti Rasnam. All right. Before I begin, I would appreciate if all of you could help to rename your Zoom name. Yeah, oh, sorry, this is WebEx, not Zoom. Yeah, so maybe if you can rename the WebEx to your name, maybe a short name of yours, as well as the ministry or the agency that you are representing. Yeah, and we would also like to request for permissions to record this session. Yeah. And we hope that you can mute your mic unless you would like to talk or give your views. Then you can unmute your mic and give your feedbacks as well as comments. Yeah. And we also have the chat function inside WebEx, which you can always use to put your comments there. Right. And finally, since there are about 10 of us today here, just in case that someone is talking and you would like to present your view next, you can also use the raise hand function for you so that we know that you want to raise your views, and we will try to engage you after the person presenting is complete. Yeah. We also have an attendance list. And we would appreciate if you could also fill in this attendance list so that we know who is attending today. So our team will be putting this attendance list inside the chat function. Okay. Right. We don't want to take too much of everyone's time. So basically, this will be the agenda of today's roundtable discussion. There will be a short introduction by Dr. Diana Mazlan about what MYSUN is all about so that you understand the aspiration of this MYSUN program. And then after that, I'll be giving a briefing about what this roundtable is going to discuss about. Yeah. And after that, we'll just proceed directly on the roundtable discussion. And finally, we'll have a wrap up and closing. Yeah. So it's a very simple program. All right, so without further ado, I would like to invite Dr. Diana Mazlan to give a briefing about MYSUN.
Right, Assalamualaikum, and thank you to our moderator, Prof. Sharifah. Wait, let me share my slide. Right, can you see my slide? Is it okay now?
Yeah, we can see.
All right. So, okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum and a very good afternoon to all guests today that attend to for today roundtables conducted by UTM under the MYSUN project. So I will share a little bit regarding what is MYSUN project, so you can get a better view what is MYSUN project is. So MYSUN project is actually, we call it as a Malaysia Sustainable University Campus Network, or known as MYSUN. Is actually a project under Erasmus Plus capacity building in higher education, which it aims to promote Malaysian university campuses as one of the living laboratories for sustainability and energy efficiency specifically. So MYSUN is also one of the national structural action that in Malaysia, which is focused on governance, strategic planning, and management of higher education institution. All right. For this project is actually a 3 years project, which is started last year on January 2020, and it will end until December 2022 next year, right? So that's a little bit of introduction. What is MYSUN? So this is a MYSUN consortium, which is it covers almost
Dr. Diana, I think your slide is not moving.
oh, okay, sorry.
Uh,
Is it okay now?
it just showed the PowerPoint, but it's not in the PowerPoint slide mode.
Let me try once again. Is it okay? No, still the same.
It's still not in PowerPoint mode yet.
Wait, I will change the. Yeah, give me a second. Open it. Okay, is it okay now?
It's not coming out yet.
Oh, okay, sorry. Okay, is it okay now?
Yeah, it's better now. Thank you.
Okay, so I will continue with so I will continue regarding the MYSUN consortium. Okay, so this is a MYSUN consortium which it covers almost all parts, all regions in Malaysia, and we have actually our focus is to cover 6 main regions in Malaysia, which is we have in Northern region we have UUM, Universiti Utara Malaysia, as our partners. And in the central region, we have 3 partners, which is Universiti Putra Malaysia, UPM, as our project coordinator. And we also have Universiti Teknologi Mara, UITM, and Multimedia University, MMU. And in the southern region is ourselves, is UTM, Universiti Teknologi Malaysia. And in the eastern region, we have Universiti Malaysia Pahang, UMP, as our partners. And as in Sabah and Sarawak, we have Universiti Malaysia Sabah, UMS, and also UNIMAS, Universiti Malaysia Sarawak, respectively. Okay, so and we also have Ministry of Education Malaysia, MOHE, on board together with us, and also another 3 EU partners, European partners from UA, University of Alicante, and we also have FSJ from Australia, and also University of Genoa from Italy. Right, this is the MYSUN consortium. All right, MYSUN project is actually consists of 8 main work package, which is we have work package 1 until work package 8. Work package 1 is actually focused on analysis of sustainable practices at university campuses, which is this work package has already completed, I think, December 2020 last year. And currently in progress is WP2 in capacity building, and we also have WP3 in pilot MOOC, also WP4 in institutional strengthening, and we also have WP5 in networking, and also WP6 in dissemination and sustainability, followed by WP7, quality monitoring, and also WP8 in project management. And for this roundtable is actually under the WP5, work package 5 in networking and strategic development, which the partners in charge in WP5 is UTM, and we have UMS and also MOHE as our partners that in charge in WP5. Okay, So our aims, purposes, and objective for these roundtables is firstly, we would like to strengthen the links between higher education institution, HEI, local stakeholders with the policymakers. And the second one is to allow the cooperation between the partners, the consortium, with to have a continued cooperation between the partners and also their sustainability officers, even after the project ends. Okay, so it's followed by the third one is we want to continue to have a continuous working on continuous support from HEI outside of the consortium to develop more sustainability campus. Okay, so our objective for these roundtables is actually first we would like to discuss a problem and issues in the field of sustainability, in particular of energy, that affecting the local stakeholders. So, and the second objective is to identify the areas where HEI, higher education institution, could contribute any services or any recommendation that we can provide to the local stakeholders based on the issues and problems that have been discussed in the objective number 1. Okay. So I think that's a brief introduction from me regarding the MYSUN project. Does conclude my presentation for today. So I will now hand you over to our moderator, Prof. Sharifah, who will continue the discussion of the roundtable. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Dr. Diana. Okay. Right, so we'll be going into the discussion on the human resource roundtable briefing now. So basically the theme of the discussion for today's roundtable is on human resources, specifically for energy sector. Yeah. So MYSUN, we are looking at a bigger picture, which is sustainability. But for this this first roundtable, we'll just be focusing on the energy sector related to human resources. So what is the main objective of this roundtable? As mentioned by Dr. Diana just now, we would like to create linkage with the stakeholders in Malaysia. Yeah. So the goal is we would like to create or strengthen the links between the higher education institution. So the higher institution is the representative of the MYSUN universities, but we will also expand the network in the future to include more universities. So basically, we would like to engage the local stakeholders by discussing problems and issues in the field of sustainability. And for this particular roundtable, we'll be looking specifically into the energy. So we are looking at how, for example, we can help the stakeholders, as well as we would like to get input on maybe how stakeholders can contribute to HEIs as well. Yeah. So the sub-objective is to identify areas where the higher education institute we could contribute, maybe in terms of service, in terms of R&D, in terms of maybe developing modules, yeah, for our students, or maybe for professional courses, so that we can also contribute to the industries, government, and communities. Yeah. And this is where we hope that this engagement can help to create the quadruple helix, where we have the collaboration among all the stakeholders. Right, so these are the expected outcomes for the roundtable discussion. First is also to give awareness to all the stakeholders about what MYSUN is all about. Many of you maybe never heard about MYSUN. So the main goal is to create awareness about what is MYSUN and how you can also collaborate with MYSUN members. Yeah. The second outcome is we would like to encourage knowledge sharing and capacity building efforts among all the network members. So there are a lot of universities involved. It's not all about UTM only. It's about the consortium of universities from all the HEIs in Malaysia. And we would like to do this knowledge sharing as well as knowledge exchange among HEIs as well as the local stakeholders. Yeah. So finally, we would like to foster networking as well as collaborative relationship among the network. And from there, we hope to increase the general public interest and awareness on the latest development and issues related to sustainability. And from there, we can we can have more collaboration as well as network with all the stakeholders. Yeah. All right, so these are the output potentials. Yeah, so among the output is, as I mentioned previously, to enhance the relationship and to create better understandings about what are the human resource needs by the industries in relation to the energy sectors, and to create the potential cooperation opportunities. And what we hope to get from this output of this roundtable, so we hope to gather your input, and from there we'll be discussing with all the MYSUN members, and we'll try to come out with like policy paper or white paper or maybe market study, which we will further develop, or like, for example, curriculum reviews and so on, as the output of this program. Yeah. So basically, these are the targeted stakeholders that we are aiming at. So we are targeting the contractor, the supplier, the federal government, yeah, the state government, the local authorities, all the associations, as well as the corporate bodies. So that's the reason we are inviting like MESCO, MARIM, MESTA, FMM, SEDA, and others for today's discussion. Yeah. Right. So basically, the MYSUN, we will be conducting 4 roundtable for this Erasmus project. So this 4 roundtable we've done in every 6 months, and they will have different teams. Yeah. So for this roundtable 1 is on human resource, the team, and the next roundtable will be in December 2021. It'll be on information sharing, and we'll have another 2 more roundtable in 2022. Regarding organizational enhancement as well as positions and role. Yeah. So basically, this roundtable, the goal is to discuss issues and challenges, yeah, revolving the energy sector that affect the organization. It could be government organization, it could be associations, it could be the industries, and so on. And we would also like to hear about your experiences as well as your knowledge, yeah, regarding this topic. Yeah, maybe you can share, for example, what is the experience that has been done in your agency. You can share your experience on what has been done in your organizations and so on. And from there, we would appreciate any suggestions which you can propose to the higher education institution on how we could also contribute towards this energy sector development and improvement for Malaysia as an overall. Yeah. And finally, we encourage any suggestions and ideas, and from there we hope to come out with outcomes and conclusion that we could later share with all of you after the final roundtable discussions. Yeah. Okay. So the first roundtable will be on human resource, and we'll be talking about these 3 main points. We would like to know the characteristic of the human resources that you would need in your organization, the role and positions of these human resources, which you need in your organization, and what would be the commitment that you foresee from the universities that we could contribute towards this direction. Yeah, so later we'll be going through one by one all these questions. Yeah. All right. So before I go through the roundtable discussion in detail, maybe we can get to know each other a bit first. Will that be okay if each of us give a short introduction so everyone know who is here? I can see some of our friends as well here, which we also know. Maybe a short introduction by everyone, like your name, your agency, and so on. Yeah. So maybe I can start with J. Ahmad Zafwan. I'm just following the list inside the WebEx link.
Hello, Assalamualaikum. I'm Zafwan.
Salam.
I'm actually a consultant for MYSTA project. MYSTA is a stand for United Nations Industrial Development Organization for Malaysia Energy Efficiency and Solar Thermal Application. Yeah, it's enough, right?
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Zafwan.
I'm also a member for MARIM actually.
Okay.
Okay.
Next, maybe Mr. Akmal. Akmal Yahya.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. I'm Miss Akmal.
Oh, Miss Akmal. Maaf. Yeah, sorry, Miss Akmal.
Volunteer here. I'm a director of SEDA, from SEDA. Looking forward for this forum because it's very interesting.
Yeah, thank you very much, Miss Akmal. This one, who is this Asus? Sorry, maybe the name did not come out. All right. Next one maybe Dr. Shazwin. Yeah? Dr. Shazwin, you want to introduce yourself as well?
Assalamualaikum and good evening all. I'm Shazwin and I'm with UTM Campus Sustainability. Hope we
Okay.
all enjoy the session today. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Mr. Lip.
Sorry, I'm Lim. I'm from Green Energy Resources. Our company meant to do the power generation, gas engine renewable plant. Yeah,
Okay, renewable energy. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Lim.
Okay, thanks.
Ms. Hasima. Ms. Hasima Hassan.
Hello,
Are you
Assalamualaikum.
there?
Yeah.
Waalaikumsalam
I'm
telah.
I'm Hasima from UNIDO Master Projects as the Assistant Project Manager.
Okay, thank you. Together with Mr. Ahmad Zafwan. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Okay, thank you very much, Ms. Hasima. So next, Ms. Haslina from FMM. Yeah.
Assalamualaikum, selamat petang. Saya
Salam.
Dr. Haslina from Federation of Malaysian Manufacturers, bukan Secretariat in charge of energy. Here to support Dr. Philip Tan, our rep for this conference.
Thank you very much, Ms. Haslina. Next, Mr. Ibrahim.
And good afternoon.
Salam
Puan, tuan-tuan. Saya Ibrahim Arifin from Sustainable Energy Development Authority Malaysia, SEDA. And this is also my first time joining these roundtable discussions and look forward for the outcome from this meeting.
Terima kasih, Mr. Ibrahim. Next, Mr. Jaya Kumar.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
And I'm a representative from MARIM, which is the Umbrella Association for Registered Electrical Energy Managers in Malaysia.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Jaya. So I'm also part of MARI members. Okay, next, Mr. Philip Tan.
Philip Tan here. Today I'm representing FMM. I've been in the energy sector for the last 45 to 50 years.
Wow.
So I just now with Hasinpa in the UNIDO project for the solar thermal energy. And I'm used to give lectures to IEM on energy as well. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Philip. Okay, next one is Mr. Suhaimi. Mr. Suhaimi, are you there?
Mr. Suhaimi is from UTMCS.
Oh, UTMCS, okay. All right. So Mr. Suhaimi is from UTM. Cik Zainal, you're from UTM also, right?
Yes, bro.
Zainal. Yeah, okay. Okay, thank you. Cik Zaini, kawan baik ni.
Okay, Assalamualaikum and
Salam.
my name is Zaini Abdul Wahab. Today I'm representing the Malaysian Association of Energy Service Company, MYSCO. As a career, I'm a freelance energy management system consultant. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Zaini.
Dr. Philip, Dr. Philip is around. Good to see you.
Thank you very much, everyone, for joining us today. We appreciate all your time. Did I miss calling anyone, just in case? No, yeah. So everyone, if anyone I miss calling, please inform me so that I can call your name. Yeah. Tak ada. Okay. Okay. So I proceed with the roundtable then, so that we can quickly go through all this and hear your input. So let me share my slide again. Okay, so how we're going to do this roundtable, basically we'll be using Jamboard. Have all of you used Jamboard before this?
No, no.
No, okay. It's very simple. So what I'll do is I'll paste this link in the chat and you can access the Jamboard link. So basically Jamboard is a platform where everyone can write on it at the same time. So you can use sticky notes, you can write text. So it's very user friendly. And basically it's like a page where everyone can put your thoughts inside it or your ideas inside it. So you can use sticky notes and so on. Yeah. So we'll be going through 5 questions inside the Jamboard. So what we'll do is for each of the questions, we'll give all of you a few minutes to think first and then maybe put down your ideas or your suggestions by using the sticky notes and so on at the Jamboard. And after we see that everyone has stopped putting their ideas and so on, then we'll open for anyone who wants to give your comments, suggestions, and feedback by talking directly inside this platform, right? So it's going to be very simple. We'll give a quiet time for a while to everyone to think about the comments and suggestions for that questions, and you can put it inside the Jamboard. And after that, anyone who wants to give your comments and suggestion will be opening it for anyone to talk after that. All right?
How do I get into the Jamboard? I can't see any Jamboard here.
Yeah, what we'll do now, I'll be sharing you the link in the chat now.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can see that short URL dot. So just copy that into your browser.
Where is that?
You see the chat there? I've put a link there,
Okay,
short
okay.
URL.at. Okay, you copy that and just put in your browser.
Just Dr. Sharifah,
Yeah.
don't mind if I interrupt. Okay.
Yeah,
May
sure,
I ask one question before we start?
Boleh, boleh.
Because I run through the notes, being given through the email for the circulation, because I got of paper prepared for this MYSUN program. Okay. I did browse through the documents. Okay. So, but when I run through the documents, I couldn't see any some kind of clear goal in terms of value, how much this MYSUN program want to achieve in terms of impact. For example, you're talking about being green, right? Okay. How much, for example, how far or how long want to, what are we going to achieve in terms of, in terms of numbers? For example, CO2 emission. Let's say in 5 years, how much we expect to achieve from this program. And then for energy, how much? So I can't see any number in that points. All right.
Okay.
Is there any such thing for this program? Because for me, if this program hasn't any clear, measurable, tangible number to achieve, it's as some kind of socializing process only. All right.
Thank you very
that,
much.
If you don't mind, yeah.
Yeah. So thank you very much, Mr. Zaini, for the comment. So MYSUN is at the beginning stage of MYSUN has just been created recently. So like I said, it's a network from different various universities. So on the target and so on, we are planning to do all those discussions if you see Dr. Diana presented just now, we have like conferences, workshops, and so on, which is not part of this roundtable discussion. So we'll be finalizing all those information during that workshop as well as conferences that we will organize as the whole university, because this one require discussions, agreement, and a lot of stakeholders engagement on this. So that one also we'll be having a discussions on that. Yeah. So for now, it's not inside there, but we hope to have it soon after all the discussions.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Zaini. So can you guys access it? Can you access the Jamboard now?
Is it the chat one? Is it the chat one?
Yeah, the short URL. Did you see that? You can copy that and just paste it in your browser.
Where I can. Under the chat, I didn't got a chat one.
The
chat,
chat.
I got the attendance form.
It's below the attendance form. You see that short URL.at/RV.
Where's the attendance form? I couldn't.
It's in the chat. If you click the
chat,
okay. Can you see the attendance form there, as well as the short URL?
Attendance link. Is that an attendance link?
Yes. One is the attendance link.
Okay. I click on. Okay.
Okay, so that one is the attendance.
Ah,
And the other one
So,
is the short URL, which is the link to the Jamboard.
okay.
where is
So,
the
Alright.
so
Just
the short
very short one, doctor. Just up
Yeah.
before the after
Yeah.
the form, before the form message. I just saw it.
I only got the what is that, the external site.
Under from sharing for Rafida.
This is the first time I'm using this. I don't know which is which.
Or you can also just
Attendance form, I put it there.
Message from sharing for Rafida, then you can see the
so if you see this, it's this link. You can also type it short url.at/rvim3.
Basically, if we're not able to copy, because if you would like to copy that, you copy all of the chats
Oh, tak boleh. Okay,
before.
then you can just type it
Yeah.
short url.at/rvim3.
Yeah.
Copy. What? I click on it or what?
You can
Short.
short url.at/rvim3. The one that I'm showing on the screen now.
I know.
The yellow part.
What I get out now is what are the roles and position of human
Yeah,
resource?
that's correct. That's
Okay.
correct.
So
Yeah.
after it, I put on that, is it? Right?
Yeah. So basically, there are 5 pages. So we'll
Okay.
be going through one by one.
Okay. There's something about.
Yeah. So you get something like this, the one that I'm showing on your screen, on my screen, but you cannot write on my screen, of course. If you go to the Google, you can write it on there. So basically, if you see here, we have arrows here, which you can go to the next question and so on. Yeah. So there are actually 5 questions there. Yeah. So how do you put your comments? Basically, on the left-hand side, you see we have sticky notes, we have text, and you even have a pen. So you can use any of those functions to put on it. And you can even resize your sticky notes. Yeah. So let me just show an example. Okay, so let's put like energy manager there, for example. So what happened is you can put that sticky notes anywhere you want on the screen, and you can even
Where do I
make
get
it
it?
big.
Where do I get the sticky notes?
On the left. On the left, you can see something like a piece of paper there.
I see a pen.
Yeah, so there's a pen, and then I think the number 4 icon is a piece of paper. So if you click that, it's a sticky note, which you can customize anywhere you want, the color.
Number 4 is.
Okay.
Don't worry, Dato'. You have run power plant. You can run this one. Don't worry.
Something new, yeah?
Don't worry. You can do it. You have run a multi-megawatt power plant. You can run this one.
This is
So true.
This is not a megawatt.
So my point is very little to you. Quickly, you can get used to it.
Yeah. All right. So we'll do the number 1 question first on page 1. So what are the roles and position of human resource profile with an understanding of energy sustainability required by your organization? So basically, these questions we are asking what kind of human resource related to energy that you need inside your organizations or maybe the association that you are representing. So what kind of roles and positions related to energy that you might need? So I'll give all of you time to write this down. So feel free to ask if you need any clarification.
I can't get out the notes. See, that's the thing. See.
The dots?
Yeah, I don't know where to write it anyway.
You can just use the pen or the text box. It's fine if you don't find the sticky notes.
It would come out. Okay.
You can also use the T for the text box if you don't know how to use the sticky notes.
Is something blocking it, isn't it?
If I may demonstrate, you just press the sticky note. If you look at my share screen, yeah, can you see my share screen?
It's not.
Let me show you how to use it.
Where's your share screen now?
You just open back the WebEx, all right? Can you see my share screen? Okay, so you see this on the left?
Which one?
On the left, yeah. You can see my cursor
Yeah,
moving.
but there's something blocking on the one on the left. You see, that's the thing, isn't it?
Oh, something blocking for your screen.
When I go there, something blocking it.
That's weird, yeah? Or maybe you can minimize your screen or something.
Or to get it out. Okay, now this 1, 2, 3, 4. Is that the one? Oh, afterward when it comes up, I just speak from off the cuff.
Pardon?
When you all discuss about it, I just speak what I.
Yeah. You can also do that. If it's
Okay,
really hard for
okay.
you, you can just speak up
Okay.
later on.
Oh, it's speak out later. Okay.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Understanding of policy.
Okay, so while you are writing, some of you are writing, I also would like to open for anyone who would like to give the comment directly as well. So
Yeah,
Dato, do you want to give your
can
comments
I
or suggestion?
can I say something
Yeah.
on the requirement human resources? All right.
Yeah. Please, Dato, please.
Yeah, actually, when I find when engineers comes, when I employ engineers, what we especially on the energy side, what as now we are talking about sustainable energy and energy resources, is their inability to understand the financial part of the financial part of the whatever you are doing. You see, this is very important for those in the industries, because the one that approve it finally would have to see that the project is viable from the point of view from the accountant side. Here, it's actually when you have a project going on, right? Whatever projects you are going on, they will want to know beside the what is that beside the payback period, they want to see what's effect of certain what is that ITA or pioneer status given to it that actually would affect the return on the equity, return to the shareholder, and to return to the company. And I find engineers are not able to do that in the presentation. And every time when a new engineers comes in, I have to give them lectures on how to go about doing it. Even if they are consultants, they are not familiar with that. That is what I find in this country.
So you're saying the engineers are lacking the finance knowledge to make decisions?
More certain aspect of engineering economics. Certain aspect of engineering economics. I remember when I give these lectures to IEM, where all these PEs are attending. One engineer after the lecture came out to me and says, "Hey, Dr. Tan, what you have been learning, you've been lecturing, I learned in MBA. It is MBA because this engineer went to MBA, but he does not know how to apply it in the actual case. So that is the part that is how to do the engineering economics to be done on the project itself. That is what I find.
All right. Okay. So I think that's a very good suggestion. So we'll take note on that. So it will be something which we maybe could improve of our engineering syllabus and so on.
Yeah. It is not it's not balance sheet and all those are not necessary. It's the engineering economic side of things.
You mean like the payback period to make decisions and so on?
Payback period is only one. Payback period is one of the things. It's actually if the project is on it is equity finance or is it is a project finance, is the debt equity ratio, what's the effects of the of borrowing at different interest rate, and what is the return to the company if what is that on a standalone project basis or things like that, and the effect of borrowing, the effect of borrowing on the return on the equity, things like that.
I see. Okay. So it's more on the business perspective sides.
Yeah, business perspective. Because finally, the one in the company, the one that you're going to approve the project, usually are the accountants. You see, in this world, mostly those are in the top position are held by the accountants, and they require to see it from the point of view of their side, not just say, oh, this project is viable. When the engineers say, oh, this is viable, just based on that kind of score.
Okay. Thank you, Dato. So
Let me
any
add
other?
Datuk Philip feedbacks. I would like to add on a little bit.
Yes,
Actually,
please.
from my current position also, we
Yeah.
have received a number of applications from universities,
Uh-huh.
but we see that the projects proposed by the universities usually stop only up until research,
Yeah.
not able to be widely commercialized, mainly because it's not able to address the industrial concerns.
Yeah.
Yeah, so usually it remains as an academic projects rather than a real-time projects.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So finally, yes, if you cannot after the research you cannot commercialize it, it just stops there. See,
It
all right?
stops there. True.
Yeah.
So what do you suggest? How do you suggest that we can break through this barrier? Because I think because universities, is it like in the first place they should have collaboration with the industries before they embark on that research, so that is a relevant research, or so how do they transfer that knowledge to the industries so that the industries will undertake the commercialization part? Maybe if you have suggestions or ideas.
You know, from my experience, there are two approach I've seen from the university that practice. One is I don't know, from for example like Universiti Malaya, for example, when the students present their final projects, they will include the industrial players as one of as the few of the panelists. So the industrial players can provide some sort of feedbacks on how they can make it happen in the real-time industry. So rather than the panelists is all from the lecturers, for example, it also includes the industrial player as well during the final year projects, for example. This is one approach. And another approach is actually during my time doing my degree back in United States. The United States, what they do is that they have industrial partners. For example, like my university have a good relationship with GE. So GE will highlight in case of what are their technical issues at the moment, what are their problem at the moment. So the projects by the students is based on how to resolve the problems of the industry. Something like that. So this between the collaborations between the university and the organization itself. So for example, like in Malaysia, I don't know, maybe we can like partner with, for example, Tenaga Nasional, for example, or any of the independent power producers, so that they can highlight what their technical constraints and how from the academic side of view, they can address the constraints.
The
That are the two approaches.
if you partner with people like Tenaga, the technical side is very good. All right. The financial, I come from that. I come from that organization 20 years ago.
Okay.
It is actually what I find is invariably engineers that's graduated from universities here, in whatever universities, they are not able to. They are not taught engineering economics, certain aspect of engineering economics, where they actually can do the necessary calculations to justify the projects.
May I add a bit? May I add a bit?
Yeah, sure.
I think the topic today is not really on the university, right? I think overall, right? So I think okay. To add to that, to add to what being mentioned just now about how to commercialize research, right? I think I have to be realistic and practical here, because in university there are two types of research to me. One is the one that it can become commercialized. Now the one type of research, something that not commercialized but important for the country, not so much commercial value. So my suggestion for this kind of non-commercial, lesser potential of commercial research, these are the research that should be funded by government. Use the government money. But for research that that will have some potential, so tie up with the private sector. All right. But how to tie up private sector? My suggestion, right? You should start from the early stage. Even the selection of the type of projects. Get the input from the industry player, what they need to be further research. Okay. Look at it now.
Here is actually, are we talking about research part or training of engineers from these universities?
No. I'm talking about one thing. I'm talking about just now, right? There's one part of that. Okay. So the one part. So for this part, to start that, to make it feasible the way forward, even the research should be, the input for the research itself must come from the one that was the research. No, the way they look at it now, some research, even PhD research, you know, just purely for PhD research. All right. The title, if you look at the topic, if you ask, I can see many PhD. Okay, I ask what research that you did. Okay, and what happened to your research? Nothing. Because the research being picked purely for the purpose of research for them to get the PhD, not for the purpose of going forward. So that's my input on that. But that's my input on that research point lah. So they can be done because of my personal experience about almost 20 years, right? So I came across a few situations where I went to the university. You know, it's basically either I took to the university, okay? Some university not lah. Most of them I can say one experience, yes. Either my condition or not at all. Simple as that. So it's no win-win scenario at all. Okay. So that's why, you know, don't blame the private sector because they money, they don't mind to take risks, all right?
Yeah.
They are not given the so-called the so-called, you know, the win-win scenario. Either my way or no way. See, that one doesn't work with the private sector. Forget it.
Okay. All right. Very good suggestions. We'll take note because we also would like this kind of suggestions from all of you, like how to commercialize in terms of research direction. We are also looking forward for this kind of feedbacks. But going back into the topic today,
Okay. Yep.
so maybe anyone would like to comment what are the roles?
Can I share mine? Can I share mine?
Sure. Go ahead, Mr. Zaini.
Okay. I'm looking about the, I think my point more on the energy management, all right? You know, what we need to have to make sure the education, you know, at any level, university, private or government, right? For them can further, you know, embark on energy management and then they can sustain that. Number one, all right, is they must have a well-aware, well-informed and committed top management, all right? Normally, this can happen only if you have the high level kind of directive or policy. Okay, for example, in our country, without any energy efficiency policy at the national level, no top management, no head of department, no head of ministry can look into that. That's why we need to have a well-aware, informed and committed top management so that they can, you know, whatever they do the way forward, they can integrate that energy okay, into their operational activity, businesses or whatever. Then number one. Okay. We must have a qualified, okay, energy manager or sustainable energy manager with the competency to practice. Because now in Malaysia, we have over thousands of qualified energy manager which don't know how to practice, honestly. So, sorry if I'm wrong. That's why now if you look at statistics, out of 1,500 RIM registered in Malaysia by Energy Commission, only 30% of them are practicing, even appointed by the installation owner. What is that? There should be some gap there. Okay.
What Zaini is saying is true. See, usually you can convince a top person. Here, you're talking energy management, energy efficiency, and so on. Right? If the top one is the one that drives down, it's easy.
Yes.
If you expect the bottom one to go up, it's extra work for them. What is the benefit do they get? All right. I find that when I was managing the car, it's the top that actually makes the bottom to do it. You see, and when I have something like about 10 or 20 engineers at a time, you see, it is actually I find the best person to do any energy efficiency or anything are the new graduates. They are very chunky, you know. The old one is all set ideas. It's hard to get through them, and you can actually monitor the good young one that comes in and tell them what actually you want, and they will go out to look for the things, and it's a lot of things are not you learn it in the universities. Actually, it's something extra, and when they come back, right, when they give the present to you, whatever they do for you, it's so much better. Very well done, you see. I always give up on the old engineers.
Okay. Thank you, Datuk, for adding the one. So, okay, number 3. Can I add number 3?
Yeah.
Okay. So basically, you know, in all places, you must have the so-called, you know, somebody. Okay, they are able. All right. Okay, they're able basically what is it, to convince the management through a very strong, this is sometimes engineer, they come up with a very good solution. All right, very brilliant solution, but they fail to convince management because why? Because they don't link that solution to the business, the financial part and all. That's why they fail. It's not because the solution not, but they are lack of that skills. Okay, how to prepare strong business case and convince decision makers. That's one thing. So they will not have this kind of people. Okay, the last one. Okay, somebody, okay, whoever implement the program, all right, whoever come up with the program or implement, develop or monitor, they must be able to link, okay, the impact of that program to the, for example, if private sector, how much the impact to the business, how much energy I use, I reduce 10%, for example, impact to the business. They feel that they're just highlighting on the, basically on the energy saving. But how does that impact business? How they bring to the, how they can improve the corporate, include the, the competitiveness and all that. So the
how
link is
affect, how if wonder how
yes.
how it affects the bottom line, you see, all right? Yeah.
Business
Even now, I just give you my final example. Okay, when during my training, right? Okay, among the even more energy managers, I asked them, all right, do you ever heard about the so-called SDG? You know SDG?
Yeah.
And where people like you, your daughter, you know lah, right? But how SDG affect energy? How energy management affect SDG? Oh, we haven't heard about SDG. That's why the ability to link technical solution, the impact to the bigger picture, that's crucial. So that you are taking manager than just engineers, the holistic strategic matters. So the way I look at it, the way forward, energy manager, even though the word energy sounds technical, but they have to play much more strategic role rather than just, kilowatt hour frequency. Thank you. That's my input on this.
Thank you very much. Maybe I open to others. Maybe if others also want to give comments.
I would say that the understanding on the bigger pictures are important, as mentioned by Cik Zaini also, that the business case need to be aligned. For example, like if we are pursuing on the SDG, for example, how the proposal will align with the SDG. So sometimes when we collaborate with other stakeholders, usually, for example, like let's say for a project, that later on we need to get some financing. From the bank perspective, they are also in line with the SDG. So in case of the, so like if we come with the proposal that in line with their strategic directions towards the SDG, these are more like in line with all stakeholders.
Okay.
This is understanding on the bigger picture lah. Because I would say that back then, technical is always the key components. But I would say that nowadays, other things, for example, like the social benefits, the environmental benefits, overtake the technical aspects.
So basically, all of you are suggesting to us that for all the either engineering or technical courses, we should embed like sustainability thinking, environmental thinking, as well as how to do the evaluation for calculation like business evaluation, which you mentioned just now. So can I conclude it to be that?
That's the new normal now. That's the new normal for engineers now.
Can I add one?
Yeah.
From my experience, we always having a problem with the capability to do project, like project planning, project management, the critical thinking aspect, strategic planning. It's always become a big problem. Sometimes they have a good idea, they can talk, but the project executions always having a problem. Simple, I involved in several projects, energy audit, involved in the project. We're always having a big problem with project management. Nowadays, we are working with a very agile environments, and the environments. I mean, project changes very fast. Then, more advanced project management need to be one of the skills for those who involved. Okay, that's only my input.
So meaning to include more advanced project management skill inside the syllabus as well.
Not only advanced, but even the basic very difficult. We're involved in so many projects. People sometimes having a problem doing project management.
Okay.
Even project monitoring also having a problem. That's why we can see a lot of project delay. And then sometimes when you start, people don't know what to do. Sometimes you shock at a certain level of project, the project management's poor.
Okay. So we take note on that. Are there any other comments from others? If not, we can go to the second question. So all these that you have written here, we will also take note as well as the comments.
Can I just add one more thing
Yeah,
regarding
sure.
I don't know, all in all, I would say that I don't know if we need to enhance the communication skills from engineering student in particular, because like myself is also from engineering background. But I would say that engineers usually are not able to really communicate their point well, especially when they are including all the technical jargon and make the audience not able to understand what they're trying to say. So this is also part of convincing the stakeholders in terms of the communication skills. Because like I would say, like recently I also meet with a youth group in Singapore. They say that towards driving the sustainable agenda, usually the energy sector is at their least preferred sector because it's very complicated sector. It's indeed very complicated sector, especially when we're talking about megawatt, kilowatt hour as mentioned, not many that understand what it really defines.
So I guess how to communicate and convince people because many students, they are trained to do presentations, but maybe in the convincing part or negotiations part and so on needs to be improved.
Yeah, I think on that aspect, beside the communication, is the writing of the report, you see. Writing, because when you do a project, you present the report and you must think what the top management will want to see, not peddling out with a lot of unnecessary things. The unnecessary things can go to the appendix, you see. They probably would want to read about 3-4 pages, you see. Whatever your assessment and all that should be able to put in there to convince the one who approve it within the report, you see. And that is what one of the things beside the financial things that my new engineers come in is how to teach them how to write proper reports to the top management.
So it means is it a report or you mean proposals? Like for example,
okay, when I say report is a proposals, right?
Yeah, when they want to suggest something new or
something new, how to put it in as to convince the top, you see, all right?
All right, okay, good suggestion as well.
Talking about this, we mentioned about report. I would say there's a change. I mean, the challenge, those coming from university and start looking into the industry, start working in industry. Because in university, we've been taught to write quite thick of report.
Yeah,
no,
not direct to the point.
There's a very critical when you go into the industry.
So you know,
the skill that you develop is to concise. Everything must be concise. That's a big challenge for the young engineer.
They're too technical. They don't know how to highlight the benefits and so on.
Yeah.
Okay, so
okay.
Thank you very much, everyone. So I think we take note on all those comments, and I think we'll move on to the second question. So if you look at the Jamboard, you can actually move to the second page, and we welcome you to give comments. Just like previously, you can write down your comments first in the Jamboard, and after that, I'll be opening for anyone to give your comments. So the first question was asking about the roles and positions of human resource related to energy. So here, let's say you have identified like you need energy managers or you need people with good financing skills and so on. So we would like to know what are the characteristics of knowledge of these identified roles related to energy that you need in your organizations. Yeah, like you mentioned just now, for the accountants, you need the accountant to have what kind of knowledge. For the engineers, what kind of knowledge do you think that they need, as well as so on? Yeah. So I'll give about a few minutes for all of you to put down first your thoughts.
Okay. While for that, can I just say something? All right.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I think university itself, right? Actually, is very good platform, right? For this student, for example, right? Okay, to see how it happens in a proper way, because you are the educational center, all right? You're supposed to have proper knowledge, okay? And therefore, I believe if there's any avenue, you can apply that so that the student can see that. For example, so far that when I look at even the paper that being circulated before this roundtable, right? I saw only university that have their own sustainable energy program is only UTM. So that's why for me, if UTM, for example, if doctor or your UTM wanted to talk about energy management program for today's student, they can say, look at our university, we have that model being practiced here. All right.
Yeah.
But how universities can they say the same? All right.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's quite, it's nice, or practical. You expect, spend so much effort just to go to visit UTM, where there's the same thing. Every university can do the same. And having a system is not costly, but it needs a proper plan, proper planning, because you can impart that, mostly what involves basically capacity building, training, or your personnel. That's all. Don't talk about investment. Yeah. So that's why I believe if university themselves, right, can have that, apply that concept in their campus, so it become a living so-called institution, right? Practice, all right, something that people can say. Talk about energy management, sustainability, practice all that. Look, that's our campus. We have the policy, we monitor our energy consumption, we have the goals, we have the targets and all that.
Betul.
Yeah, it's easier, but how many university is doing that? All right.
Yeah,
So that's
some
my
universities are starting as well, macam UMP,
Yeah.
UTM. We can see they are also going towards this direction, and that is the goal of this MYSUN platform also, lah.
Yeah.
Because we have this MYSUN platform so that we have more of these sharing sessions. Actually, MYSUN is not only for energy; it's for the whole campus sustainability. It consists of waste, water, and so on also. Yeah. But you're right. You're right. It's good to have more sharing sessions among universities on energy management and so on.
No, just share, just must do it. They must make it a commitment.
Yeah,
So for example, that every for you, maybe you could propose at the Chennai Chancellor so-called majlis, right? So
Yeah.
at least even in the next 2 years, IPTA at least lead by example, they have the system in place, management system. It won't take that long to develop one. They can improve, Don't talk about rating, all that. Don't talk about rating, get 2 star, blah blah, and all that. Talk about establishing the system, get it done, and then later talk about recognition.
Yeah.
So it can be done very. You don't need, you don't need a budget from the RNK 12 to get to do that. Simple as that.
Yeah. True.
Because for me sometimes we have to live. We cannot do the thing. The new normal, you have to live. You cannot just catch up. You cannot catch up. Live.
True. Yeah. What you're saying is true. Hopefully, more universities will take up on all this energy management system and so on. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Zaini. Right. So feel free to write on your thoughts, and at the same time, if anyone would like to give your comments directly, feel free to do so as well.
Because I told you by 4 o'clock, I'm sorry.
Okay. Encik Zaini kena pergi dah. Okay.
So I sure, because I think I share mine lah, okay? I think the knowledge, if you look here, the knowledge that, graduate, I think they should know, right? Other than core, academic subject, all right, the knowledge, that one we expect them to know the basic, but I think they can enlighten and top up with some knowledge on the so-called financial assessment. I think important, Dr. Philip mentioned earlier. You don't have to become an accountant, right? Don't have to be at the accountant level for knowledge. More to application. Okay, for example, I did not learn any financial, during my study time, but I study in YouTube. Okay, I run through a few of them. I can master that subject, that financial. That I see people learn 4 years in university, half a day. I can run, but I know because we know how to apply. Basically, some knowledge, at least in India, some knowledge. Secondly, the knowledge about management and strategic planning concept.
It is not accountants that you are, not those accountants part of it, right? Is how to do project, what is that, modeling and things like that. Accountants doesn't mean they know how to do modeling.
I think Mr. Zaini has line problem.
Oh.
Yeah, I do agree. I guess it's not only about accounting because many people
Yeah.
know how to account, but not everyone know how to
They know how to
interpret
More
interpret the
about
meanings.
how to do
more
financial
about
modeling.
financial. I think more account, more the account you can play around, right? More part. Talking about financial.
Financial modeling, you see, because when the engineers do financial modeling, you know the parameters that goes in, see, because they know, whereas accountant do modeling, they only get it from the engineers, and they say, oh, this the efficiency is so much. If an engineer will know, if you tell him the engineer is too high, he said, no, then you're talking nonsense, because garbage will go in, garbage will come out. See, engineers will actually know, or if you put in this figure, is it reliable or not? Is it justifiable or not? Right? So otherwise,
Okay.
I get.
All right. So now my number 3, author, okay. The number 2, the management concept. I didn't know there's some kind of management and strategy. What management strategic planning concept? That will, and because you know why graduates become executive, all right? They have to think big picture. So this, you know, they have to have some concept. At least they understand that. You know, at least when they enter the market, you know, they enter the work job, and they know they have to move up. Okay, not go back to basics. So strategic concept, management concept is very important to me, lah. And finally, how to use the emerging technology to become more effective, not to waste time. How to adopt the IoT and all that. So how to make them effective, but not, you know, technology should make them more effective, not, you know, not whining, you know, not getting job, getting paid, you know. So technology, how to use that. That's all.
Okay.
For this. Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much, Encik Zaini. So I open to any others who would like to give your comments and suggestions as well.
Sorry, this one's not comment, but I just want to tell you, at 4 I need to leave because I have my final exam semester.
All right. If you can give your comments on the other pages of the Jamboard as well, it will be excellent as well if you cannot have time to do others. Yeah. All right. So any others who would like to give feedback? Maybe from Mesta, maybe in terms of solar or anything. Do you think you have anything about this that you need?
Talking about solar from MYSTA, I think in general we give it the same, but the main challenge, if you can see the main challenge in MYSTA, we are working with the stumbling block of this project is the policy. In our renewable energy policy right now, we are not supporting renewable energy for heat. That's the biggest challenge. And then when we look into the new planning RETR, renewable energy roadmap until 2035, still the same. There's no intention on renewable energy for heat. So at the moment, this project will link directly with SEDA to work on how to give more input to the government side to look into developments of renewable energy for heat. That's the biggest challenge for MYSTA project. So
you're saying that we're lacking of human resource who are experts on renewable energy related to heat?
For me, I don't see technical expertise is a big problem. I don't think that's a big problem. The biggest problem is policymaker, the scientists, the scientists or the related person who are working directly with the public policy. The policymaker, example, we have this project linked to MOSTI. But if you look on the MOSTI, our science and technology innovations policy, we can start from there. We can start with the education policy. We can start with the climate change policy, how to bring this understanding of renewable energy for heat. Because when I look into several policy related, none focus on this technology. So that's why without policy, it's very difficult for the industry to grow. It's very difficult for university to bring up the student. You can do the program. I found there's quite a numbers of universities, even UKM, have quite numbers of years doing solar thermal, but right? Surprising, we don't have any policy to support that until now. So that's the biggest challenge. So I do not know how. Probably from university, we need to work so close with the institutions, the authority like SEDA, like ST probably, to bring this idea, to change the not change policy, to bring new input for our existing policy, like in what it calls our renewable energy policy, 2011, I forgot number, named RE policy, RE Act, right? We need to look into this. We need to look into RETER. That's become a very strong agenda for the government. The roadmap. Again, the roadmap drive until 2035. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
So if you don't do any, what do you call, there's a term like intercept or something. How to do that? We really need to work on policy. So that's why the biggest challenge on this project is not the technical experts, not the technical people. The real challenge is the policy.
Actually, the policy is where the roadmap, the energy roadmap policy, or the policy is associated with it. When those are drafted, it is for people who are interested or that are to put in the input when they actually formulate the policies. Once the policy is formulated, and if those that you think is important are not inside there, then you cannot be carried out. Right? I thought the roadmap and the energy efficiency roadmap and the renewable energy, those are already there. So it's a question of whether those policies are sufficient or not. If not, how to influence it.
This you can see. So we have energy efficiency policy. We also have next coming the energy efficiency and what I call ECA, right? You can see this can be a strong enabler to bring new renewable energy for heat. And why we strive on that? Because renewable energy on heat is not only about heat generation, but it can help to reduce electricity on the demand side. Because you can see on the industrial, a lot of heat demand, but then generating by electricity, like electrical boiler. So if we really make use on that, this RE for heat really can make a significant contribution toward RETER roadmap, the 2035 program. It can contribute to reduce 20% of energy. This is very clear on that. But again, when I look into this, I'm not really think technical people, expert is a stumble block. The real challenge is policy. We already have few policy. We already have few incentives. We already have a few programs that if we can formulate it, it can contribute to improve RE Act, to put RE for heat into the Renewable Energy Act or contribute into the RETER program. The formulation of that. That's we need a people who have a good thinking at the policy making level.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Zafwan. So I guess you're saying that if universities can make more engagement with the government, and maybe also to look into this kind of blueprint or directions for the upcoming new trends, maybe in technology trends, manpower trends, and so on. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Zafwan.
Doctor, can I agree on that? I think I agree because the way I look in, the way I look at university now, they more listen to the government instead of challenging the government. Because you are the purist, right? You're supposed to challenge the government, not university should challenge the government because they have all the good brains and all that. Right? Don't just listen to government. The way I look at it now, you don't listen, just listen, and then that's why this is how it's happening. Am I right? I never heard, university challenging the government and some of the policy and all that. They become the agent of debating some even not productive policy.
Yeah, I guess you're right. University should also give suggestions and drive new thinking, new directions as well, right? Give suggestions.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, challenging, like you say.
Even though not popular, maybe don't have one They may not like it because the
Yeah,
truth
yeah.
matters. All right.
We can see not many people from the universities giving advice to the government. Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Probably
Thank
this
you.
probably
Very
this
good
can
feedback.
contribute. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Probably this
Yeah, yeah.
platform can
Hopefully.
give some insight on that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hopefully, maybe we can put someone. Yes, Mr. Zawad.
Just to tell you, I need to make a move right now. Because,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
for
Thank
the
you very
exam.
much for your comments and feedbacks.
Okay, thank you very much to all. Enjoy your
Hi,
Okay,
thank you
thank
very
you.
much, everyone. I'm sorry if I'm talking too much, so I have to leave. So
Okay,
I,
that's
I, I,
idea.
I put whatever I put in the net. I think you can see some of my notes there. So I think all the best. We see you in the next session, hopefully. Thank you very much, everyone.
Alright, okay, thank you very much, Cik Zaini, as well as Cik Zafwan. All right, so any other comments from the others, maybe from Green Energy Resources? Do you have any comments or feedbacks on the first two questions? We have representative Green Energy Resources, right? Tadi Cik Fabian.
Hello, yeah, yes.
Yeah, yeah. Do you have any feedback, Mr. Lim? Is it Mr. Lim?
Yes, correct.
Mm-hmm. On
Yeah,
any needs or anything?
Okay, for the university side, I think first of all, like just now the Mr. saying is, I think university need to get the student know the policy and understand whether the government policy can apply to, apply to the industry or apply to the Malaysia situation. The To implement this policy, is it good to support the renewable energy fuel or the sustainable energy fuel? Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Jaya, maybe you want to give some comments as well? Can see that you put some comments in the chat.
Goodness, you got me on the spot now. The sustainability part of this question, what's the purpose of this? Is it financial evaluation? I mean, is this a financial, what's this incentive? Or I don't know whether universities have CSR or whether it's part of your, outreach. So that's my question here is, why are we implementing sustainability for campuses? I'm not saying you're not. I just like to know why, and then take it further from that point.
You're asking about the universities, right?
Yes.
Why are the universities going towards green campus or
Yes.
energy sustainability?
I've had speaking to my clients, speaking to them about energy efficiency and so on and so forth. One of them, listed company, a public listed company, said we are not interested in the energy efficiency. We're not interested in the financial savings. We just your CSR point, that's interesting for us. So they were not interested in saving of RM or saving the environment. They just, okay, I'm not going to mention which company that was, yeah. They only were interested in the CSR, the public image. So my question here is, what are we looking for when we say MYSUN?
Basically, the university is where we develop the new generations of people going into the industries and so on. So the MYSUN was created not only to make the university green, but our goal is also to create manpower, which, for example, our students. Yeah, so we would like to train our students in terms of energy sustainability thinking, because it's also it's not only about CSR making university looks good. That's not the only thing that universities are looking for. We are developing human resource, the next generation, going to the field and so on. So our goal is actually how can we shape these future engineers, future technicians, or future accountants, and so on, so that when they go, it's like what all of you have been mentioning. How do we make sure that this sustainability thinking is embedded into our future manpower and workforce in the future? Because the universities are where we train, we develop all these students during our master degrees, undergraduates, and so on. Yeah. So it's not only about CSR of looking good. It's actually about talking about how to yeah, how to put the mindset in our future generations, and hopefully we can get the feedback and comments from the industry so that we know the right direction that the university should be going to. Yeah.
So it's not specifically or only solely focused on energy sustainability. Is that right?
No,
Yes.
no. MYSUN in general, we're not looking on energy only. We're looking at the whole sustainability. In fact, it's a sustainable campus as well as sustainable thinking that we are trying to put in our students. But for the purpose of this roundtable, because sustainability is big and wide, so we would like to focus first on the energy sector.
Because when we say sustainability, my image is I'm looking at the university, the campus, as a small town, because I think
it's
the
true.
population in your campuses, 10,000, 20,000 people.
UTM have about 20,000 students.
Yeah. So that's a township already. So I'm looking at it as the application of the LCCF, the low carbon city uses framework. It can be applied for campuses. It's being applied on 2 private campuses here in the Klang Valley. So is there
Which campus is that?
Boleh sebut?
Kalau sensitif tak payahlah, tapi kalau tak sensitif boleh share boleh.
Two private campuses.
Assalamualaikum and good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Yeah.
Oh, morning.
2 private universities, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, first of all, I would like to also apologize for yesterday. Not able to make it yesterday.
Oh, yesterday? Yesterday tak ada. Or maybe yang lain punya. Okay, go ahead, Mr. Ibrahim. Hello?
That's good to know.
Encik Ibrahim, Encik Jaya, do you want to continue? Sorry.
Cik Azril?
Somebody still wants to listen to me, is it?
Okay.
So I'm looking at it as campus as a township. So the points of not just energy, in this case sustainability, but water. Water meaning fresh water, potable water, grey water, storm water, waste, which is also produced on campus. So that's not just merely food waste. We are looking also at fiber waste and so on and so forth. So that's just 3 points that we're looking at. We're also looking at vegetation versus waste as well also. So certain aspects that can be applied on campus, which actually cost dia tak mahal. So and those are things which can attract not just merely the engineering faculty, but the other faculties as well also. So that's my 2 cents worth.
All right. Thank you very much. So you're suggesting that the university should go towards the low carbon, just like the low carbon city directions, yeah? And try to implement some of the low carbon initiatives inside the universities as well. Yeah.
Yes, Pond Doctor, yes.
Yeah. So thank you very much, Mr. Jaya. So I think thank you very much for your feedback for all this. Anyone wants to say anything else? If not, we can move on to the third question.
Just to add on Mr. Jaya comment on the campus, you see, if the campus can be make it, can do all the sustainability within the campus, like harvesting of rainwater, recycling of the wastewater, and so on that will serve as a center where other people can go and learn from you. See the actual projects that's going on within the campus. If I know that things like that needs money, may not be viable from the beginning, but it will serve as a showcase for other people who want to learn about it, to go to the campus. I would think UTM is one of the best places to do it, you see, to actually learn from beyond, you see.
Yeah. You're talking about living lab, yeah? Because
Yes,
in the universities, we do have this concept of living lab where we try to put some of the technologies even within the universities as a showcase and demo case, as you mentioned. Yeah, but that's an excellent suggestion as well.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments or suggestions? Okay, I would like to move on to the third one. Right, so we were talking about the roles and responsibilities for the people in your organization. So now we would like to know what are your expected roles of the universities towards promoting energy sustainability. I think some of you mentioned just now driving the government for policy, new policy developments and so on. And some mentioned about the future graduates curriculums and so on. So if you have other things, we welcome any suggestions and comments on. You mentioned also R&D commercialization just now. Yeah, so feel free to add more comments and suggestions here. So you can write down, and I also open for anyone if you want to comment directly. Okay, so we have some comments here. University engagement, more win-win scenario with the private sector. Is some bureaucracy. Okay, very good suggestions. Yeah, any more comments or suggestions on this? The expected roles of universities towards promoting energy sustainability. Able to support industry. Maybe I can ask your comment. Because of course we can improve our curriculum for our current students. Also maybe like all of you mentioned, we could also engage the government more. But how do we create this linkage among universities and industries more? Even though I think Encik Ibrahim just now, he suggested that when we do presentations, for example, we can invite the industries to also listen to our students' presentation. But is there any suggestions for us to make it more effective to have this engagement between universities and industry? Because, for example, universities, we have research grants where we can do a lot of research with this research grant, and the industries, you know better about what the industry needs in terms of new technologies. Maybe you can see the gap which the universities people do not see. So how do you have any suggestions how we can close this gap between the communication between the universities as well as industries? Yeah. So maybe if you have suggestions, maybe Miss Dato' Philip.
You see, what I find, you see, the disadvantage of Malaysia, I see, you got just earlier, we are talking about those research projects and going for commercialization, you see. The problems here, the demand, you see, the Malaysia is so small, all right, that, you know, whatever you commercialize, there's not enough, take up within the industries to make it viable, see. Hopefully, with the RCE, what's the new one that is came out? The regional cooperation between countries. You see, will make it bigger. Says we got a bigger capture of audience. You see, if you just depend on the Malaysian market, I used to see some very good projects. You see, but they are not the scale of demand is not there for just within Malaysia. You need a bigger captive audience industries in order to make it viable. China can do it because they are so big. I hope within ASEAN we can certain projects we can actually introduce to other people so that whoever commercialize it have a bigger people to take up. You see, if we just depend on Malaysia, it's very hard for commercializations to live off.
You're saying Malaysia industries are not ready for
No,
this
not
kind of new
not ready,
technologies?
not big enough. You see,
Not big enough. The market is not big enough.
The market is not big enough. we require a bigger market in order to make sure that whatever commercialized can have a bigger market. I think. That is where the RCEP or whatever, the RCEP or whatever this comes in. I think.
Okay. How about others? Do you have any suggestions or comments? Ms. Akmal, do you want to give your comments as well?
Yeah, I will basically talk about my based on my experience before I'm with SEDA. Before this, I'm working with Malaysian Nuclear Power Corporation (MNPC) before it closed down in September 2019. So when I'm in MNPC, we engage lots with universities such as UKM, UTM, and also UTMS and others other university. What we did was this university, they have nuclear related subjects, and they call us whenever they had a project that related to for example the project management. When they have this kind of project, they call us to participate in the judging, and also for example have been calling us for to give a talk, and also they plan to their project is like the real project management on how to build a first nuclear power plant for Malaysia. So from there on, they liaise with us to look on what we say the project management side, and I think is one of a good idea for the universities to engage the industry like this, so they can see the real life, not only the theoretical, but what happened actually with the industry. So that's one kind of university engagement with industry players that I can think of lah.
Okay. So you're saying we should engage more the industries as panels for our programs and events, yeah?
Yes, so one kind of activities like what we did with UTM Skudai, when they want to set up the nuclear laboratory, so they call us to look on what they need, and from then on we help with to engage UTM with like Japanese to look on the suitable needs to complete the lab, like that. So I think it's a good engagement.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much for the suggestion. How about others? Ms. Hasima, I have not heard you talking. Ms. Hasima, do you want to share anything? Okay. Thank you. So I open for any other comments. If not,
in your course in UTM, you got industrial advisory panel as well, isn't it? Right? Because normally universities they have.
We have industrial advisor for our curriculum.
That will come and look at the syllabus and what you have been doing, things like that, is it? All right.
Yeah. We do have industrial advisors, but mostly it's for our curriculum review. But I guess, we need to engage more with industries in certain ways, I guess.
Yeah.
Because, like, for example, like the grant under MOSTI, like if you have heard about the TED 1 or TED 2 grants and so on, it requires the collaboration between industries and university. It would be very good to have more of these collaborations. Okay. All right. So I move on to the last question. So the last question is, what is your conceptualization of a greener higher education institution, and what can the industries contribute towards this development? So in here, we would like to know maybe if you can suggest from your side, for example, maybe what kind of contribution, maybe like you guys mentioned just now, you say as a panel for our programs and so on. So that could be one way the industries can contribute. But in what way also, it's not only like the universities is giving to the industries, but the industries also can contribute to the universities.
Probably in that kind of aspect, you can invite speakers from the industry to speak on certain aspect in the industries that's relevant to your course. So
Okay. Invite a speaker.
Speakers to on certain aspects.
Okay, that's a good suggestions. Any more?
Like for example, just now we are talking about the financial part of things, the engineering economics part of it. If you don't have what is that subject by itself, optional subject by itself, you can invite speakers from outside to actually speak on it.
All right. Okay. That's a very good suggestion. Any more? Any more? So feel free to use the Jamboard as well if you want to put your comments there. So what do you guys foresee of greener higher education? Mr. Jaya, you have many suggestions just now, right, Mr. Jaya? Do you want to add on this point?
Maybe next meeting.
Next meeting, okay, sure. Any others would like to share maybe?
I think, sorry, Alim here. I think the university can for engineering, property engineering always have the internship. Maybe university really need to see the student to engage with the company is suitable or not. Then they can go there and learn something real in the industry. Then the internship maybe not in the final semester or maybe the first or second year or third year, then they can learn, then they come back to the school, then they can understand what is in the industry, then what is in their study, then they can know better toward this section.
So you're saying to use the internship for them to also learn more about how other organization implement the green aspects in their organization, something like that?
Yeah.
Yes, correct.
And the internship is important not only for the student itself, but for the industries itself. We say, because when I was still in the industries, that is the time when actually I access the students. Actually, those students that came for the internship are actually sponsored by the company itself. It's for me to assess whether I want to employ them or to let them go. See, all right? So that is where the time I can judge whether they are going to give a lot of benefit to me or they are going to be a deadwood in the company. See? So it is not just learning from the company also want to assess you, see? Assess the interns so that whether to employ them or not. See?
Yeah, correct.
Okay. So you're saying that the internship period is also where the industries do the talent harvesting, yeah? Where you might
that's right.
take the good students to work at your company. Okay. So we heard about internship, invited speaker, panels. Are there industrial advisor? Any others which you can suggest?
If I may share, when I'm in nuclear industry, nuclear company, what we look at the green concept of higher education of higher education is that we look at the green higher education is about to create the somewhat a knowledge, skill, attitudes, and values that all related to back to the environment. So in this concept, what we did was we tackle the most critical part of this green concept, which is the knowledge, preservation. From as you can see from Malaysia is very new to the sustainable energy, mainly I would say mainly on nuclear. at that time. So the knowledge preservation is critical. So what we did, what MMPC did is we create a nuclear knowledge management human resource development, where we gather all the universities to share, to have a knowledge sharing on these nuclear industries, on the syllabus, the courses, and all these university can access this network, the nuclear human knowledge management network, So I think this MYSUN is a good platform in order to proceed on this matter. That what I look. So I hope that
You're saying like a centralized database of knowledge, is
yes,
it?
it's like a centralized database where all the university can access the knowledge that that the industry and also the universities are sharing, and also yes, after MMPC is closed down, we can still easily access it at MOSTI right now. So I think it benefits the industries and also the universities.
Okay, okay, all right. I think that's an excellent idea as well as suggestion. Thank you. Okay. Any more? Any more comments or suggestions?
I would like to add on the suggestion by Dr. Phillips earlier.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
Ms. Hasima.
because I think when I was studying in Korea for the postgrad students, we have one paper. We call it as a industry seminar. Basically, what they do is every in this paper, which is we have every week, so that they will invite the industry to come and present. There are two types. One
Can't hear you.
lecturer itself have the other research institute and also as well the universities. So they gave the trend on the updates. They share about their research. So so they will easily to catch up with the trending now.
I think we lost you again, Ms. Hasima. Hello?
Sorry.
I think we lost you for a while.
Sorry.
You can repeat again, sorry.
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 Mute pula tadi. So another one is they invite the industry itself, so they can share on anything about their industry. Also have their own research and also on their own technology. So this is very useful for the final year students. Some of them also already discuss about the possibility how they can be part of the company itself. But the good one is this
Cannot hear again.
join this class, even though it's dedicated for the postgrad student, but usually all the lecturer will come and listen to the recent research and also recent on the technology or business that by the industry. So but of course this need a good networking between the university and also the industry itself. So but this one we need to find out how we can find the strategic partner, either maybe targeted to the multinational company, which is they usually have their own R&D as well part, and also they are more interested in the like the CSR accessibility part, but also maybe for the university itself maybe can works with others many ministry. What we have the HRDF, that the fund and HRDF team that already have some like list of the industries. So maybe we can works together and utilize on that. But the idea is here is to the university need to be updated with what the current needs and what the current technology is looking by the industry. So we need to call the industry itself to come and talk. So yeah, because it's not easy. We need to penetrate. So it's much more that we provide some platform so that industry can come and give some useful talk. to these students.
You're saying like open seminars or sharing sessions between the universities, the industries, yeah? So that the
Yeah.
industries can give like an open seminar to the students from time to time. Maybe we can invite the industries to present their latest technologies, directions, and so on. So it can be
Maybe
like
in
an open seminar or conference. Is that what you're
it's
saying?
not really conference. It's not it's kind of same, but actually it's a class actually, because
Okay.
actually it's been part of the postgrad class, which is
Mm.
we have one class which is it is a talk from the industry itself. So it's not that really you need to maintain like 30 participant, or you need to have a special invitation, no. But actually the student itself, they are updated, and because of this part of the curriculum, so the of course the lecturer also can benefit. So it's not that like we do like seminar. It's not, you put in part as your curriculum and course in the postgrad.
Okay, all right. So it's more for the class sharing session within the class so that the lecturers also can get the feedback at the same time. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much, Ms. Asima. Any more comments and suggestions? Mr. Jaya, you write a lot in the chat. Do you want to ask directly here? Mr. Jaya? Okay, maybe I can just read some of his comment if we can address it. Is there a questionnaire for university fresh intakes to list their interest or awareness in sustainability, where there is a strong mindset? Stretch to list their... what do you mean by this, Mr. Jacomo? Is there a questionnaire for university fresh intakes to list their interests? Mr. Jaya, are you there? We cannot hear you.
You can't hear me, can you?
Now I can. Now we can
Perfect.
hear.
Sorry. All right. I see it in schools where they're implementing 3 Rs and whatnot. If you're coming from Japan or from Korea, like you mentioned, the waste products there are divided into 6, 7 different types of classifications. But I see that in schools here in my family sources schools where the students are implementing 3 Rs in the schools. So that's their awareness, that's their mindset when it comes to sustainability, which is waste management. So of course, once they finish SPM and they turn up at your universities, and do you ask any of your fresh students whether they know anything about sustainability, whether they have an interest in sustainability? I ask this because this can be also tied in with you perhaps setting up in your campuses, in your universities, postgrad and undergrad, undergrad or postgrad courses aimed specifically at sustainability, which is of course a wide field, and there's plenty of subjects to cover.
In some of our subjects like Introduction to Engineering, where we do have sustainability embedded in that subject, we do have like a questionnaire or a survey where we would like to know what is the level of the student understanding prior to doing some of the projects inside the class. But as an overall university, when the students come in and we ask a general question about sustainability, no, I don't think we have that. But for certain subjects, normally, which they do teach about sustainability inside it, they do also try to get the knowledge of the students before and after, normally. Yeah.
Okay.
But I think this is a good suggestion as well.
Also tying in with what Dr. Lim just said just now about financial awareness for consultants in this subject. I've spoken to one merchant and one investment bank, and when we put out those proposals to them for their implementing energy efficiency projects, and they ask things like, when I give them information based in IRR, a simple payback, they're not interested. You give them IRR, you give So so they want that, and the feedback from them when I ask them about this is excellent, because I don't get anyone giving me these kind of figures.
Okay.
Yeah, it's if when I ask the consultants, this is what my clients say. They just give it to me in simple payback, and there is no understanding about what money costs to my organization.
I guess this one goes back to what Dato suggests
Yes,
as well. It's in the beginning as well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
IRR, your NPV, there's just no awareness. So again, like I said, this of course comes from people who are in the financial or the accounting field and
Yeah.
won't find this in the engineering field. Is there any possibility, I do not know, whether you want to deal with people in different faculties in your campus? But
I think multidisciplinary as well as crossing disciplines, crossing disciplinary is a good way as well. Because if you're just in one mindset, one discipline, then normally we do not grow, right?
it's not easy, isn't it? Yes, that's right. Yes.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. Thank you, Mr. Jaya.
Okay.
So, any more comments or suggestions from others? Okay, if not, I move on to the last one. If you have this one is just overall comment on energy sustainability on anything. If you foresee any issues or challenges, or if you have any other things you would like to comment in terms of energy sustainability and human resources. So this one is like open to general, not related to the 4 topics. So this one we just open if you have any more other suggestions related to other things within the theme of human resource and energy sustainability. Like, do you foresee any big issues or challenges that we may come into? And if you have further solutions, because I heard a lot already just now, but just in case you have any other things.
I would say, if I may share, I would say the main problem with our country regarding the energy is the energy policy itself. When we can see that the change of government will change the energy policy, and also we are prone towards I would say the trend of energy in the world. So let's say, for example, now we are going on for solar, and everything is on solar project. And and one more thing, when we change the government, the energy policy also change. For example, when last 5 years, in the energy policy, we did include the nuclear to be part of the energy
Syllabus.
to be in the syllabus. So many universities doing that. For example,
Yeah, even
UTM.
UTM, we created a new
Yes.
course on that.
Yes. When the government changed suddenly, and the ministry saying that no more nuclear for Malaysia, what happened to these students when
Yeah, true.
the main bachelor program is they are the nuclear engineers. So we are facing these students back then, and what we can suggest is like do the apply for internship overseas, and also tune their minds towards the new career path. So that's the main, I would say, the main challenge, the main issues when regarding the energy industries in Malaysia.
Yeah. We also face that same problem with our nuclear batch students. They also don't know where to go after that. And we have to have a
Yes.
backup plan for them. Yeah, I guess
Exactly.
that's one of the big challenges as well. And now, I guess politics is also very volatile now.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
So what
Any?
happened with the nuclear course? Is there any? Is there still continue the nuclear course in UTM?
I'm not really sure, but I think we are phasing out the students because last time they said that Malaysia is going towards nuclear, right? So
Yes.
UTM also create a new course. We took staffs and we have several batch of students already. But after that, they say it's no more. So we're trying to change their directions a bit and phasing out the current nuclear program also. Yeah,
That's
because
great.
they can only go into R&D, I guess, or maybe they can go to the overseas for
Yes,
this
if
for
you
jobs
want to
and so on.
pursue on nuclear, still on nuclear, but if you want to go for energy sectors, then they will be good.
Yeah, yeah. I guess because they also learn about power plant and so on,
Yes,
which they
yes,
can
yes,
still go into that direction, I guess.
exactly.
Thank you. Any other comments and suggestions? Okay. Any more? Okay, so if none, I think that's all the questions we have for this first roundtable on human resource. So I'll just make a quick round just to make sure that everyone have given. So just a quick round if you have anything else to say. Ms. Akmal, you already talked about the nuclear just now, right? Anything else you want to add before we end this roundtable?
All the questions are
Okay, sure.
nuclear, right?
Mr. Philip.
I
Dr. Philip.
I would not recommend any universities to take up to have that course. You see, I remember when I was a young engineer, way back in 1969. How long ago is that? All right. GMB has already sent their people for nuclear. All right. People that Tan Sri Tajuddin was one of the early nuclear people. See, until to date, nothing has come out. You see, I can foresee the same thing will happen again. You see, so no point training nuclear engineers at this current moment when they are not able to be employed in the industries in the near future. That's my comment.
Yeah, yeah. I guess we cannot do much on that
Yeah,
because it's also a top-down
yeah,
decision
it's too
sometimes.
sensitive issue
Yeah.
now. Yeah, too sensitive issue within the country. I can't see how we can go nuclear with what is a Fukushima. What is that? Is it the one happening in Japan that happened? You see, so
Yeah,
I
like the
can't see
Fukushima. Yeah, yeah,
Fukushima
true.
one. All right.
True, true. Okay. Any more? So Miss Akmal, anything last thing from your side? That
No, I'm good. So
you're good.
anything you can reach out to SEDA if anything related to sustainable energy and renewable energy. Yeah,
Okay,
please to accept your
okay.
suggestion.
Okay, thank you. Maybe we can also give some of our recommendations from MYSUN to SEDA also after all our roundtable is completed.
Yeah, sure, sure.
Would that be okay? Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Okay. Mr. Lip, anything? Any last thing from you?
So far, not much to add on for this conference. Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Miss Hasima?
No, for the moment.
Okay, thank you. Miss Haslina?
No.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Tat? Mr. Tan? Ada?
Prof. Shah, are you calling my name?
Yeah. Oh, sorry. It's Madam Tan from UTM. Okay, sorry. Okay, thanks.
It's
Okay,
okay.
Mr. Jaya, any final thing? I can see you have lots of questions.
Not at the moment, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Jaya. Datuk Philip, anything else from
Yeah,
you?
that's all. That's all for me. Thank you.
Okay, I think that's all that is left from the stakeholder side. Others are from UTM, right? Did I miss anyone? Okay, so I believe that is all for our roundtable engagement discussion between MYSUN as well as the stakeholders. So we thank everyone very much for all your comments as well as suggestions that you have given to us. And we do have several more roundtable that we are planning. Like I mentioned, we have another 3 more roundtable with different teams, and we do hope we can invite all of you again for the future roundtable as well. All right. So thank you very much again from us, from MYSUN, and we hope to take all these comments and suggestions, and we'll bring it to the MYSUN network and discuss it as an overall university. And from there, the comments and suggestions, we'll try to consolidate it and come out with some action plans and so on from MYSUN network. All right. So I think that's all from me. Thank you very much to everyone for joining us. And is it possible for us to take a photo before we end the session? So everyone is working at home during this pandemic?
Where else can we go?
Yes. So yeah, I guess now. Okay, everyone, can you open your camera? Miss Haslina, Miss Hasima, L, Cik Suami, Cik Zaina, and everyone. Okay. Siapa boleh tolong ambil gambar? Cik.
Saya.
Okay, kasih.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so thank you very much, everyone.
Thank
So
you.
stay safe, stay healthy, and see you again.
Thank you.
Okay, thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.